the true story of this grandmother. Sold by my stepmother, I survived horror they hid. Anna's first breath came with a price. Born in a cramped little house on the edge of a southern town in 1948, the world lost her mother the moment she arrived. No soft lullabies, no warm arms, just a father with rough hands and a cracked voice swearing he'd protect her. Zach, the shoemaker, spent his days mending worn boots and his nights whispering stories of hope into Anna's shivering ears. Life wasn't kind, but it was theirs. Then, one day, without warning or a trace, Zach vanished. No goodbye, no note, just an empty room smelling of leather and lost dreams. Anna was left alone with Evelyn, the woman who wasn't her mother but wore the title like a mask. Evelyn's smile never reached her eyes. It was sharp and cold, like a winter night in December. Rumors swirled through the hushed streets. Strange visitors who never quite met your gaze, whispers behind closed doors, and nighttime shadows crawling where no child should walk. Anna felt it, the chill crawling under her skin, the hands that brushed her without kindness. One evening, under the thick black veil of a new moon, Evelyn locked the front door from the inside. The windows were smeared with dirt, making the moonlight weak and blurry. Anna's heart slammed in her chest as the front porch creaked under heavy footsteps, men she had never seen before. These were no neighbors. Their eyes were empty, calculating. Her stepmother's voice was cold, a poisonous promise. "You're going with them." The words hit Anna like a fist, squeezing tight around her ribs. She wanted to scream, but her throat felt sewn shut. The world cracked open, darkness swallowing her whole. Thrown into a rusty truck, driven through winding back roads layered in mist, Anna's small hands trembled against the cold metal of the seat. The smell inside was sour, mixed with fear. The other faces she saw were shadows and broken things, children trapped in their own nightmares. Then, a quick flash, a sharp jolt of hope when she crossed paths with Marcus. His eyes, fierce but haunted, met hers in the crowd. He understood. They shared silent stories of vanished parents, of hands that hurt and words that tore, of cages they wanted to break free from. Together they slipped through cracks, fleeing into the biting dawn. The city rose like a giant beast, a maze of blinking lights, roaring cars, and endless noise. It swallowed them, but also shielded them. They found Linda, a woman with arms wide enough to hold the sun. Her home was a sanctuary filled with the quiet hum of healing. Under her care, Anna's trembling hands learned to shape clay, to build something new from broken things. Marcus found music, his voice cracked but strong, telling stories they both needed to tell. Slowly, pain twisted into power. Laughter pierced thin walls. Dreams stirred behind tired eyes. They dared to believe in a future far from shadows. But one afternoon, as sunlight warmed the cracked pavement outside Linda's place, a dark envelope slid quietly under the door. Anna's fingers tightened around it, the edges rough and cold. No name, just a message. A reminder that ghosts don't always stay buried. Her chest clenched. Marcus's jaw locked. The nightmare wasn't over. What secret creeps in the wind? Will Anna and Marcus face the storm or be lost in it again? Hey, before you continue with this incredible story, I have an important warning for you. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube has removed their subscriptions without warning. Take a quick look at the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I don't want you to miss any exclusive content. And while you're there, leave that powerful like. It helps me a lot with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, what city are you watching from? I love meeting all the amazing people who are part of this community. Your participation makes a difference. Let's interact. The tension hung in the air like a thick fog, the kind that wraps around you when fear creeps in. Anna stared at the dark envelope, its edges digging into her palm. "What is it?" Marcus whispered, shifting closer, his eyes flickering with anxiety. She couldn't answer. The silence stretched, heavy and suffocating. With a quick breath, Anna tore it open. The paper slid out, revealing a photograph. A faded image. Her heart sank. It was a family photo from ages ago, one she had seen only once before. Zach and Evelyn stood together, their faces tight-lipped but smiling, a younger Anna balanced on Zach's knee. But there was something else. A shadow in the background. A tall figure whose face was blurred, like a ghost hiding in plain sight. Who is this? Marcus leaned in closer, his breath hot against her cheek. Do you know them? No, Anna stammered, the tightness in her throat threatening to burst. She turned the picture over. On the back, a single word scrawled in a shaky hand. Tell. A chill wrapped around her spine. They were being watched. The picture felt like a threat. Panic coursed through her veins. We need to tell Linda, she gasped, but as she spoke, the front door creaked open. A soft but deliberate sound. Anna's heart raced. To her horror, Linda stood there, her face pale, eyes wide. She had never seen Linda look so fragile, so broken. You shouldn't have seen that, she whispered, stepping inside but leaving the door ajar. What do you mean? Anna's voice was small. The warmth of Linda's home felt suddenly cold, shadows slinking against the walls. Linda's hands trembled. Anna, there are things you don't understand. Things from the past that they can't be buried. A sudden thud echoed from outside, startling them. The door slammed shut, locking them in. We need to go, Marcus shouted, muscles taut, ready to bolt. No, Linda almost screamed, desperation spilling from her like a flood. If you leave now, you'll never return. You have to listen. What are you hiding? Anna snapped, her fear bubbling hot. She could hardly breathe. A tear rolled down Linda's cheek, and for the first time, Anna saw the weight of the world on her shoulders. I promise to protect you both, but there are forces at play you can't even imagine. This isn't just about us. What are you talking about? The room felt smaller, shadows creeping in. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door, firm and unyielding, as if a hammer were striking metal. An intense feeling of dread settled in Anna's stomach. They found us. They? Ask the word barely escaped Marcus's lips, wide-eyed. They've always been here, Linda whispered, voice trembling. Your father, Anna. He did not vanish, he was taken, and they want you now. Anna felt the floor shifting beneath her. What do you mean taken? Who are they? Linda took a shaky breath. Your father made choices, Anna, dark ones. He was tied to them. To the same shadows that haunt us now. The air crackled with tension. Everything she thought she knew shattered in that moment. You knew him. I loved him, Linda confessed, eyes glassy. But he chose the darkness over us. Before Anna could react, the door burst open. A flood of figures swarmed in, cloaked in shadow, eyes like burning coals. The world spun, and everything went dark once more. Anna's heart hammered. It was no longer just about survival. The storm was here, and it would take more than just courage to face it. What other secrets lay hidden, waiting to emerge? Would they be strong enough to survive the truth? The moment the shadows spilled into the room, chaos erupted. Anna's heart raced as the cloaked figures moved with a purpose that felt predatory. She pressed against Marcus, feeling his warmth, a feeble anchor in a storm that threatened to drag them under. Get behind me, Linda shouted, her voice low and fierce. The trembling woman stepped forward, arms raised as if to shield Anna and Marcus. The figures paused, their hidden faces unreadable. Then everything shifted. One of the shadowy figures stepped closer, removing his hood to reveal a face that sent shockwaves through Anna's chest. It was a face she had known her whole life, etched in memory, now twisted with a darkness that made him almost unrecognizable. Zach, her father. No, it can't be. Anna gasped, stumbling backward. You disappeared. Zach's eyes, once warm and inviting, were cold as ice. Anna, listen to me. I never vanished. I was forced to leave for both our sakes. Linda's expression darkened, confusion and desperation struggling in her eyes. You lied to us all these years. Oh, you think you know the truth? Zach's voice was sharp, cutting through the tension like a knife. The truth is far darker than you realize. It's about survival, Anna. I made a pact to protect you. Panic clawed at Anna's throat. Protect me from what? From you? Before he could reply, a loud crash echoed from outside. The window shattered, glass raining down like tiny daggers. Someone else was here, someone terrifying. Heavy footsteps thundered up the porch, and black boots stomped in rhythm against the door. They're here! Marcus yelled, jumping in front of Anna, ready to shield her from whatever was coming. The order, Zach muttered, eyes darting. I thought they wouldn't follow me here. They've always been looking for a way back. Linda's breath hitched as she spoke, urgency lacing her voice. Anna, you have to understand. This is bigger than us. Your father, he turned his back on them, but they'll never stop hunting down what they've lost. Lost. What do you mean? Anna felt a whirlwind of emotions spiral out of control. Confusion, anger, and fear whirled like a tempest inside her. Suddenly, a figure burst through the doorway, cloaked in darkness, wielding a shimmering dagger that caught the dim light. Before Anna could even scream, it lunged for Zack. Time slowed. The blade sank deep into his side. No. Anna screamed, the sound ripping from her throat. As Zack crumpled to the floor, blood soaking through his shirt, he gasped out, "You have to remember, Anna, the truth is." But the rest was lost in a choking sound, and his eyes glazed over, leaving a weight in the air so oppressive that everyone froze. The remaining figures flanked Marcus and Anna, their intent clear, eyes glinting with hunger. A sharp cry pulled Anna from her paralysis, a voice she recognized. "Anna, Marcus, run!" It was Linda, desperately slapping her palm against the wall, words bursting forth. "You both have to leave, now." Everything spun. Marcus grabbed Anna's hand, the world around them crashing in waves. The last sight her eyes landed on was her father's lifeless form, the darkness consuming him, a ghost of the man she thought she knew. They darted through the back door, bursts of air hitting their faces with the force of a storm. But only one question echoed in Anna's mind as they fled into the dew-damp night. What truly lies within the shadows? And is there anyone left to trust? Anna and Marcus darted into the cold night, their feet pounding against the gravel path, hearts racing for survival. Each breath felt like ice filling their lungs, fear amplifying every noise. The shadows of the house melted behind them, nightmarish memories trailing close as they sprinted toward the edge of the woods. "Where do we go?" Marcus gasped, glancing back as if expecting dark figures to emerge. The echo of the door crashing open haunted them. They could still hear Linda's frantic voice urging them to flee. Panic surged in Anna's chest. They had no time to waste. "Anywhere but here," she shouted, gripping Marcus's hand tighter. But then a scream sliced through the air. A horrible, agonizing cry that no human should make. It twisted in Anna's stomach. It sounded like Linda. "No." Anna froze, almost yanking Marcus back with her. She wanted to turn around, run back, but the terror in Marcus's eyes stopped her. "We have to help her." "Are you crazy?" Marcus pulled her forward. "We can't go back, those shadows." But something deep inside Anna flickered with defiance. "I can't leave her." In that instant, a loud noise erupted from the house like wood splintering. "Anna." Linda's voice called again, this time muffled but desperate. "Run." Anna's heart sank. Her instincts screamed danger, but something else pulled her. They couldn't abandon her. She turned, determined, dragging Marcus back toward the house, where darkness still writhed with unseen horrors. The door lay ajar, the air heavy with foreboding. No sign of life, only shadows dancing like phantoms inside. Anna edged closer, hearing whispers that curled around her like smoke. She could see the figures in the fading moonlight, could sense the danger. Then, out of the shadows, a figure emerged. It stepped into the light, and Anna's breath caught in her throat. It was Zack, but he was different. The coldness in his eyes was gone, replaced by warmth. He extended a hand toward her. "Anna, come to me. Dad." The word tumbled out, filled with disbelief. "But you died." "No, I was taken. There's so much you don't understand. You have to trust me." Marcus tugged at Anna's arm, panic flashing in his eyes. "Anna, don't! This isn't right!" But his words felt distant. She stepped closer, drawn to her father's familiar face, only to have that familiarity crumble. The shadows shifted, and beside Zack stood a woman, radiant and ethereal. "Anna, you must remember who you truly are," the woman urged, eyes shimmering like stars. "Your fate is entwined with the past." "Who are you?" Anna's voice trembled, her heart racing with confusion. "Your mother," the woman said softly, her voice wrapping around Anna like a warm blanket. "And I've been waiting for you to awaken." The ground felt unsteady beneath Anna's feet. "My mother. You were never part of my life." "Because I had to protect you," she replied, a tear slipping down her cheek. "They have kept you hidden from the truth." A tumult of emotions raged inside Anna. Fear, longing, confusion, it clawed at her heart. "What truth?" Suddenly, the door burst open again. It felt like the whole world was crashing in. More shadowy figures stormed in, angry and hungry. Marcus stepped in front of Anna, shouting for them to run. But as the chaos erupted, the woman reached out for Anna. "Listen to me." Her voice cut through the noise. "You must embrace your power, fight them." The figures lunged for Zach and the woman, but they were engulfed in a flash of light. "Anna, you're the key!" Zach shouted before being swallowed by flickering shadows. Everything shattered into darkness. And then silence. Anna blinked. She stood alone. Where was Marcus? Where were the shadows? Panic overwhelmed her, heart thudding against her ribcage. Had it all been a trick? As she turned, the shadows melted, revealing a single item on the ground. It glimmered, a pendant, identical to the one she had seen in the family photo. "Who are you really?" Anna whispered to the silence. The night pressed in, filled with unanswered questions and uncertainty. What was this newfound power? Would she be strong enough to fight? And what had she just lost? All alone, she clutched the pendant, her mind racing. The night felt thicker now, secrets lurking in every corner. What had her parents truly hidden? The only way was forward. But this time, she would face it head-on. Anna stood alone, clutching the pendant, the world around her heavy with silence and uncertainty. She felt a cold breeze brush against her cheek, the memories of her parents swirling like leaves caught in a storm. Her heart raced, echoing in her ears. Was it really over? What truth had been hidden from her? Suddenly, a rumble pierced the stillness, a distant thunder that felt out of place. The ground trembled beneath her feet. Anna's breath quickened, fear clawed at her throat. She darted toward the house, the remnants of panic igniting her resolve. The shadows that had haunted her now stood as a barrier between her and the truth. "Marcus," she called, her voice breaking. Was he safe? She turned, eyes scanning the darkened yard, no sign of him. And then, without warning, the ground shook violently. Anna lost her balance, stumbling forward, bracing herself against the wall of the house. The pendant slipped from her fingers, hitting the ground with a dull thud. In that moment, everything shifted. A blinding light erupted from the ground beneath her, breaking through the darkness like a rocket. Anna shielded her eyes, heart racing, as colors exploded into the night. The world swirled around her, and shadows danced wildly in the light. From the center of the explosion, a figure emerged, silhouetted against the brilliance. Time slowed as Anna's heart sank. It was Marcus, but something was different. His eyes gleamed, glinting with an otherworldly light. A strange energy pulsed around him, washing over Anna with an icy grip. "Marcus!" she screamed, rushing toward him. But he stepped back, his expression shifting, twisting into something unrecognizable. "Stay back! What's happening?" Panic surged through her veins. "Please, what is this?" He looked at her, but his gaze was distant, filled with an intensity that felt foreign. "Anna, I'm not who you think I am." His voice was laced with pain as if each word was a struggle to escape. "What do you mean?" Her mind raced. "You're my friend. We've been through so much together." The light around him brightened, casting shadows in stark relief. "I was sent to protect you, but I've been drawn here for another reason, a greater purpose." "What greater purpose?" Fear curled in Anna's stomach. "Marcus, don't do this." He hesitated, guilt flashing across his features. "I'm part of the Order, the same group your father betrayed." "I know." Anna gasped, her heart shattering. "You're lying." The light surged again, knocking Anna backward. She gasped, her breath coming in quick bursts. The world spun as everything she thought she knew unraveled. "Stop!" she shouted, desperation spilling over. "What do you want from me?" Marcus's face hardened. "You have power, Anna, a power they fear. The memories you buried there within you. They're awakening, and I cannot hold them back." Before Anna could respond, shadows erupted from the ground. Dark tendrils raced toward Marcus, wrapping around him like chains. He struggled against them, but the shadows pulsed, drawing him deeper into the light. "No," Anna cried. "Fight, you can escape this." The air crackled with tension. The ground shook again, and the shadows tightened their grip. "You must remember," Marcus shouted, his voice strained and desperate. "You are stronger than they know." The shadows howled, pulling him into the blinding light. With a final, heart-wrenching cry, Marcus was engulfed, vanishing into the brilliance until all that remained was silence. Anna stood frozen, trembling. What just happened? The pendant now felt warm against her palm, pulsing like a heartbeat. She stumbled back, her mind racing. A faint whisper brushed her ear, carrying words she couldn't quite grasp. Embrace it before it's too late. Her heart plummeted. What had she lost? And what did Marcus mean about her power? As she gazed into the darkness, a new fear settled within her. Who could she trust now? In the distance, the night sighed, alive with unanswered questions. Would she uncover the truth before it consumed her? Anna stood frozen, surprisingly alone. The pendant's warmth faded, leaving her feeling empty. She inhaled deeply, heart still racing. Memories of the shadows of Marcus pulling away throbbed in her chest. What was this power? What was it she was meant to embrace? As dread filled the air, a piercing scream erupted from the depths of the woods behind her. It was distant yet clear, a sound of pure panic that pierced through the silence surrounding her. Anna felt her stomach twist. "Marcus!" she called again, her voice wavering, filled with worry. But instead of Marcus appearing, a figure emerged from the shadows, rushing toward her. It was a man, tall and lean, features shrouded in darkness. As he came closer, moonlight caught his face, revealing an expression of desperation. "Please, you have to help," he gasped. There was something familiar about him, something that struck her deep, a resemblance to Marcus. Anna stepped back. "Who are you?" "It's me, Anna," the man cried out, pain in his eyes. "It's Marcus." "They have me." Her heart stopped. "What? No, that's impossible." But the transformation was tangible. The way he moved, the intensity in his voice, it was Marcus. "You have to believe me. I'm trapped in this form. They did something to me." "What are you saying?" Anna struggled to grasp the words. "This doesn't make any sense." "He sold me," the man shouted, tears welling in his eyes. "The order took me. They've given me this mask to wear. I'm still me, just not the me you know." Anna's mind spiraled. Everything about Marcus was familiar. How could this be true? She took a step toward him, trying to process this new reality. But how? The shadows stirred, crawling closer, absorbing the light where they stood. "I was meant to protect you, but they needed a pawn, a way to infiltrate your life and keep you close. Do you understand? I can't escape. What do you want from me?" Anna's voice was barely a whisper, trembling with dread. "Only for you to remember. You have to break the chains, channel your power." His features twisted in anguish. "You're the last hope." Her thoughts raced. Could he really be telling the truth? Was there still a part of him in their fighting against this dark magic? But before she could respond, the air crackled with energy, and a violent burst of light erupted from the pendant she'd dropped. It soared into the sky, illuminating everything in an otherworldly glow. In that blinding moment, everything changed. The shadows recoiled, but she felt the force pulling her closer to Marcus. "Anna, now!" he shouted, desperation spilling from his lips. "This is the moment." She stepped forward as whispered voices filled the air. "Let go, Anna, let go!" Suddenly, the light dimmed back to darkness. A scream pierced the silence, but it was not Marcus. It was someone else, a terrified voice wrapped in pain. Anna's heart dropped. "No, Linda." In the confusion, she caught movement out of the corner of her eye. A figure emerged from the shadows, a woman with wild, dark hair, eyes wide with fear. It was Linda, but her features were twisted, marred by grief. "Why did you come back?" Linda gasped, stumbling toward them, but the moment she locked eyes with Marcus, recognition washed over her. You shouldn't be here." "Linda, you have to trust me." Marcus pleaded. "I'm trying to protect Anna." But as he spoke, Linda's expression shifted. Wrath boiled over, a horror-filled accusation spilling from her lips. "No, you brought this upon us, you've betrayed your own. You were never meant to be here." The ground quaked underfoot. Anna watched, lost amid their accusations and fears. "What do you mean?" She cried out, her voice breaking under the weight of uncertainty. The oppressive shadows began creeping closer again, darkness wrapping around Linda's legs. The tension built, wrapping tighter around them all. And then, it happened. A blinding flash of light erupted from inside Anna, illuminating everything. The shadows parted, revealing a truth that struck them like thunder. In that moment, Anna recalled a memory buried deep, a flicker of a past she'd never truly known. The shadows were not merely threats, they were a part of her. What am I?" She breathed, eyes wide with realization. As the light receded, everything was silent. Both Marcus and Linda looked at her with fear, but underneath that was something deeper, something she now understood. The question echoed in the darkness, pressing against her chest with a weight she could hardly bear. What if she was never meant to be saved? Anna stood frozen, surprisingly alone. The pendant's warmth faded, leaving her feeling empty. She inhaled deeply, heart still racing. Memories of the shadows of Marcus pulling away throbbed in her chest. What was this power? What was it she was meant to embrace? As dread filled the air, a piercing scream erupted from the depths of the woods behind her. It was distant yet clear, a sound of pure panic that pierced through the silence surrounding her. Anna felt her stomach twist. "Marcus!" she called again, her voice wavering, filled with worry. But instead of Marcus appearing, a figure emerged from the shadows, rushing toward her. It was a man, tall and lean, features shrouded in darkness. As he came closer, moonlight caught his face, revealing an expression of desperation. "Please, you have to help," he gasped. There was something familiar about him, something that struck her deep, a resemblance to Marcus. Anna stepped back. "Who are you?" "It's me, Anna," the man cried out, pain in his eyes. "It's Marcus." "They have me." Her heart stopped. "What? No, that's impossible." But the transformation was tangible. The way he moved, the intensity in his voice, it was Marcus. "You have to believe me. I'm trapped in this form. They did something to me." "What are you saying?" Anna struggled to grasp the words. "This doesn't make any sense." He looked at her, but his gaze was distant, filled with an intensity that felt foreign. "I was sent to protect you. But I've been drawn here for another reason, a greater purpose." Anna's breath hitched. What greater purpose? Fear curled in Anna's stomach. "Marcus, don't do this." The light around him brightened, casting shadows in stark relief. "I'm part of the Order, the same group your father betrayed." "I know." Anna gasped, her heart shattering. "You're lying." The light surged again, knocking Anna backward. She gasped, her breath coming in quick bursts. The world spun as everything she thought she knew unraveled. "Stop!" she shouted, desperation spilling over. "What do you want from me?" Marcus's face hardened. "You have power, Anna, a power they fear. The memories you buried there within you. They're awakening, and I cannot hold them back." Before Anna could respond, shadows erupted from the ground, dark tendrils racing toward Marcus, wrapping around him like chains. He struggled against them, but the shadows pulsed, drawing him deeper into the light. "No." Anna cried. "Fight, you can escape this." The air crackled with tension. The ground shook again, and the shadows tightened their grip. "You must remember." Marcus shouted, his voice strained and desperate. "You are stronger than they know." The shadows howled, pulling him into the blinding light. With a final, heart-wrenching cry, Marcus was engulfed, vanishing into the brilliance until all that remained was silence. Anna stood frozen, trembling. What just happened? The pendant now felt warm against her palm, pulsing like a heartbeat. She stumbled back, her mind racing. A faint whisper brushed her ear, carrying words she couldn't quite grasp. "Embrace it before it's too late." Her heart plummeted. What had she lost? And what did Marcus mean about her power? As she gazed into the darkness, a new fear settled within her. Who could she trust now? In the distance, the night sighed, alive with unanswered questions. Would she uncover the truth before it consumed her? Suddenly, an explosion ripped through the quiet. The ground shuddered violently, sending Anna sprawling. She could hear voices shouting, chaos erupting all around her. From the trees, a mass of shadows surged forward, converging on her location, blocking out the moonlight. "Anna, get out of here!" A voice thundered. It was Linda, racing through the chaos, panic etched on her face. "They've found you." "Who?" Anna shouted, stumbling to her feet. Before Linda could answer, the shadows lunged past her and seized Anna's arm. The force was horrifying, as if they were dragging her into a void. But just as fear threatened to swallow her whole, an overwhelming light burst forth from her pendant. It exploded into a million shards, scattering light in every direction, illuminating everything around them. When the light faded, Anna fell to the ground, gasping. The shadows dissipated like smoke in the wind, leaving only silence. But she wasn't alone. Before her stood Marcus again, alive and whole, his face pure with relief and anger. "Get away from her!" he bellowed, stepping forward as if he could block the shadow's return. "Anna," he said, voice trembling. "This was always the plan. They wanted you to unleash your power, and I was meant to possess it too." The shock hit Anna like a punch to the gut. What? You were supposed to protect me. But Marcus's expression twisted into a mix of fear and fury. It's too late for that. I couldn't fight it. I still can't. Anna's heart dropped. She looked at him, desperate for some truth in the turmoil. What does that mean? Everything has been a lie. I was chosen. I am for the order, he admitted, voice cracking, revealing his vulnerability. And your memories, they're awakening in ways we never expected. With that confession, everything shifted within Anna. The ground beneath her crumbled slightly, but instead of fear, she felt an inexplicable rush of power welling up inside her. Could it really be true? Was Marcus the enemy? Come back, she yelled, feeling the shadows creep back into the edges of her vision. You can overcome this, but Marcus's look twisted into something darker. No, Anna, it's not that simple. You have to choose a side now. She watched as he began to fade, shadows wrapping around him once more. What about us? She cried, panic rising in her chest. That's for you to decide, he whispered, eyes dimming as he vanished into the dark. Stunned, Anna could do nothing but stare. What did he mean by choose a side? And which side would she ultimately be on? Anna stood frozen, still reeling from Marcus's revelation. Shadows swirled around her, the night heavy with uncertainty as a dull ache settled in her chest. She felt the weight of his disappearance echoing in her mind. What did he mean by needing to choose a side? Fear throbbed in her veins, urging her to take action, yet doubt stifled her thoughts. Suddenly, the pendant around her neck flared to life, and a brilliant light pulsed through the air. It illuminated the darkened yard, spilling warmth over the chilling tendrils of shadow creeping closer. But just as quickly, the light dimmed, replaced by an odd stillness hanging like a storm cloud ready to burst. In that moment, a figure emerged from the shadows, one she hadn't anticipated. Strong and tall, with a demeanor that felt all too familiar. Her heart raced as she recognized him. Zach! She breathed, disbelief washing over her. Anna, he said, his voice strained, filled with urgency. We don't have much time. Dad, confusion filled her tone. You were gone. He stepped closer, light flickering across his face. No, I was hidden, forced to watch everything from afar. They couldn't let me interfere, not while you were so vulnerable. Anger surged through her. You let me grow up alone. You left me with Evelyn, and now you show up. Why now? Because they're coming for you. His eyes blazed with intensity. They've been watching you since the day you were born. Her pulse quickened, the fear creeping back in. Who? The Order? Yes, but it's worse than that. He hesitated, as if weighing the gravity of his next words. You must listen closely. The true enemy is not just the Order. It's me. Anna's breath hitched. What do you mean? I made a choice back then, a deal to save you. But in doing so, I bound my soul to the darkness. If I don't complete their task tonight, I'll lose you forever. Doubt clashed with anger in Anna's mind. What task? They want you. To either join them or be eliminated. You hold the power to change everything, but they'll stop at nothing to keep that from happening. A scream echoed through the night air, brutal and unyielding. Anna turned, instinctively searching for Marcus. But when she glanced back, everything shifted. The pendant around her neck throbbed, glowing bright again, illuminating blurred figures closing in from every side. Run, Anna! Zach urged, desperation etched on his face. But as she pivoted, everything exploded into chaos. Shadows rushed toward her, darkness intent on devouring her whole. It felt like the walls were closing in. I can't let you go, Zach's voice trembled. You have to understand, the one who betrayed us. It's Marcus, he's the real threat. No, Anna's heart dropped, anger flooding her. He's my friend, he wouldn't. But before she could finish, the shadows consumed the space around her, engulfing Zach in darkness. Anna, remember. He shouted, voice fading. The world jolted. She blinked and found Marcus standing before her again, but this time. His eyes were painted with darkness, his expression twisted. I told you to run. No, you're lying. You were supposed to protect me. The light flickered above them, revealing a collage of emotions, uncertainty mixing with fear. You came back, he accused, his voice deepening. You don't know who you're fighting for. This is bigger than either of us. A crack echoed, sending shockwaves through the ground. And at that moment, everything collided, the truth, the shadows, her choices. She looked back and forth between them, incredulity washing over her. What is happening? Choose wisely, Anna. Marcus's eyes gleamed with an unsettling energy. Everything depends on you now. Before she could process another word, the shadows surged again, twisting the air around her. The scene exploded into chaos, absorbing all light and hope. Anna's heart raced as she realized the ground beneath her shifted, and a chilling understanding washed over her. What if the true betrayal ran deeper than she ever thought possible? With a desperate breath, she screamed into the darkness, "What lies ahead for me?" But it was drowned in silence as the void closed in, leaving her at the cusp of darkness and the weight of a devastating choice. Anna stood there, trembling, the shadows creeping ever closer. She could feel the weight of Marcus's betrayal hanging in the air, wrapping around her like a thick, choking fog. "What is happening?" She shouted, her voice strained, cutting through the turmoil swirling within her. But Marcus remained silent, his expression dark and unreadable. The shadows twisted and morphed around them, pulsing like a living thing, waiting. Suddenly, a loud thud echoed from the darkness. It came from the woods, a noise like something heavy crashing to the ground. Anna turned her head, fear clawing at her throat. What was that? Before Marcus could answer, a deafening roar erupted. The ground shook violently beneath their feet, and the air was filled with a blinding white light. A massive shadowy figure emerged from the depths of the darkness. It loomed high above, distorting the very fabric of reality around them. Anna's breath hitched. She felt the urge to turn and run, yet her feet remained glued to the ground. "A.N.A.!" a voice boomed. It was deeper than thunder. The silhouette stepped forward and the glow illuminated its features. It was a monstrous version of Zach, her father, but twisted, angry, with eyes burning like coals. "You've betrayed us!" he roared, and with a sweeping motion, darkness enveloped Marcus, pulling him forcefully toward the figure. "No," Anna screamed, reaching out, but the air thickened, dragging down her limbs. She could barely move. "Remember who you are," Zach's voice thundered, shaking the very ground. "You are part of this, embrace your heritage." Anna's heart raced. It felt like a dagger stabbing at her insides. "What do you mean, I don't want any of this?" In a blink, Marcus was engulfed in darkness, vanishing. A visceral scream tore from his lips as he twisted away, his face contorted with pain and fear. The sound echoed, drowning her in despair. Darkness surged toward her father, and she watched as the figure of Zach absorbed it. The transformation was visceral. His body rippled and grew until he towered like a titan. He looked at her with a mix of anger and pride. "What have you become?" she gasped, stumbling backward. He took a step closer, shadows swirling around him. "Your power, Anna, it will wash over this world. You must choose, join me or perish." The intensity of his words pierced through her. "No, you can't mean that." But then, almost as if in answer to her anguish, the pendant around her neck flared open, revealing an intricate symbol that glowed brightly. It radiated warmth, pulsing with a life of its own that felt as familiar as her heartbeat. Zach stepped back, fear flashing across his monstrous features. "How did you unlock that?" He sounded less like the father she knew and more like an entity lost to the chaos. Panic seized her. "What's happening?" But just then, the ground beneath them began to quake. It felt like everything was tearing apart. Hidden memories surged within her, flooding her mind, moments she'd long buried. People she'd forgotten, feelings she didn't understand. She dropped to her knees, clutching her head, as blinding images flashed. Her mother, laughter, whispers of ancient power. And then, just as suddenly as it began, the light erupted again. It enveloped her completely, making her feel invincible, yet terrified. When the light faded, standing before her was not her father, but a figure cloaked in shadows and light. A woman with familiar features who bore an uncanny resemblance to the image she saw in the old family photo. "Anna, it's time you learned the truth," the woman said, voice soft yet commanding. Anna's heart raced. "Who are you?" She felt the weight of the moment pressing down, but there was no time to process what was happening. The shadows reared around them, eager to consume. The woman's eyes held wisdom and deep sorrow. "I am your blood, your mother, and I've returned to protect you." The world spun, and everything hung in the balance. Anna's heart thudded in her chest as she struggled to comprehend. What did this mean? Was it really her mother? What did her sudden appearance mean for her fight against the shadows? You must decide, Anna, her mother urged, the weight of her words sinking in. Will you embrace this power and take your place, or let it all be extinguished? As the shadows surged around her, questions raced in her mind. Would she choose to stand with her mother, or was she destined to confront her father's darkness alone? The air crackled with unspoken tension. Everything she thought she knew about herself began to unravel. How deep did this darkness run? What if the real battle was only just beginning? Anna's heart raced as she stood before her mother, an ethereal figure wrapped in shadows and light. The weight of her family's secrets hung in the air, thick and suffocating. "You've waited for me," she whispered, emotions spilling over. "Yes, Anna," her mother replied, her eyes shimmering with a blend of love and urgency. "But there's no time to waste. You must choose." "Choose what?" Anna's voice trembled, still reeling from revelations about Marcus and Zach. "What do I have to do?" "Embrace your power," her mother urged. "Remember who you are. You hold the key to ending this darkness once and for all." The shadows stirred, angry and restless, as if sensing their moment slip away. Anna took a deep breath, remembering Marcus's panicked screams, his betrayal, everything she had endured. "You mean I can fight back? I can end this?" "Only if you believe in yourself," her mother said. "You are stronger than they ever expected. You must unite your spirit with the power within you. You can break the chains that bind your father and Marcus." Anna's mind raced, thoughts swirling like a tempest. She thought of the light from the pendant, the warmth that blossomed in her chest. "Okay," she said, her voice steadier now. "Tell me how." Suddenly, the ground trembled, sending vibrations coursing through her body. The monstrous shadow of Zach loomed above them, empty eyes glaring and mouth twisted in fury. "You cannot control this power," he bellowed, darkness spilling around him, trying to consume everything in its path. "Get ready, Anna," her mother urged, stepping closer. "Trust in your heart." "I'm ready," Anna shouted back, feeling the light within her ignite into a blazing inferno. She raised the pendant high, the glow illuminating the darkness that surrounded them. With one swift motion, she unleashed the energy she had kept hidden for so long. A wave of golden light surged forward, colliding with the shadows. The force was electric and heart-stopping. Shadows writhed and shrieked, disintegrating in the brilliance. Zach's monstrous form staggered back, eyes widening in shock. "No," he cried, but the shadows could not withstand the light. The ground beneath him cracked open, darkness spilling into the abyss. Anna felt her heart pound as the shadows crumbled away, revealing the strength inside her. "This ends now," she shouted, pouring every ounce of her will into the light. A blinding explosion erupted, enveloping her mother and the remnants of Zach. In that moment of clarity, memories washed over Anna, laughter, warmth, love. Suddenly, she knew that her strength didn't come solely from the pendant, but from everything she had endured, from the people she held dear. And just like that, everything fell silent. The air was still, the shadows dissipated, and Anna stood, breathing heavily. She was alone, the weight of victory pulsing in her heart. As the dawn's light crept in, casting a gentle glow, she felt something shift within her. The light of a new beginning broke through the remnants of a dark past. "Mom," Anna whispered, looking for her mother, but in her heart she understood. Her mom had been there all along. As she turned to leave the clearing, a sense of freedom washed over her. She could face anything now, no longer defined by fear or shadows. But then she remembered Marcus, his last desperate plea. Was he still lost to the darkness? Questions bubbled in her mind as she stepped into the new day, heart racing with hope. What deep secrets still lay ahead? You see, the journey has just begun, and Anna knows it wouldn't end without one last push. You must subscribe now to the channel for exclusive stories. Now is the time to show your support and click that like button to feed the algorithm. Flood the comments section with your thoughts, reactions, and wild theories about this ending. And do not wait another second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to know how it ends. True fans always understand the importance of supporting the channel. Glowing star.